In the shadows of ancient Rome, amid the grandeur and treachery of its cobbled streets, lies a tale imbued with mystery, faith, and the remorseless edge of destiny. The city, a formidable empire of divine architecture and ruthless politics, was both a place of reverence and dread, a Gothic tapestry woven with the ambitions of emperors and the whispers of the divine. It was within this enigmatic realm that the Apostle Paul, a once ardent adversary of the burgeoning Christian faith, found himself ensnared in a narrative that would transcend the ages. Imagine the air, thick with tension, as the dusk settled over Rome, painting the sky with shadows of red and gold. In this breathtaking vista, a solitary figure stood, Paul, a man whose very soul had been tempered by divine encounters and relentless mission. His journey from the Damascus road, where a blinding light had altered the course of his life, to these daunting Roman confines, was marked by miracles and trials. Yet it was here, under the ruthless gaze of Emperor Nero, that the climactic final chapter of his mortal journey was to be written. Nero, an emperor whose name became synonymous with tyranny and madness, was as much a mystery as a horror. Some claimed he fiddled in the flames of Rome's burning, while others whispered of his merciless crackdown on a fledgling faith that threatened his imperial grasp. But what was it about Paul that drew Nero's ire? What divine orchestration brought these two extraordinary figures to an inevitable collision course? In the annals of biblical lore, there are passages that echo like cryptic prophecies. In 2 Timothy 4:6-7, Paul writes from his prison cell, "For I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time for my departure is near. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." These words reverberate not just as a farewell, but as a harrowing prelude to the dark fate that awaited him. It is here we find the strings of mystery tautening, questioning how a man so devout, whose letters have guided generations, could meet such an end. What transpired in those final days? How did the apostles' unwavering faith confront the looming shadow of a death sentence? These questions beckon us into the shadows of history, inviting us to uncover an unsettling yet enthralling saga. Join me as we journey back through the spirals of time, traversing the clandestine layers of history and belief, to unravel the profound and at times chilling mystery of how the Apostle Paul met his end at the hands of a Roman emperor blinded by ambition and fear. This is a tale not just of death, but of legacy, faith, and the enduring spirit of one of Christianity's most pivotal figures. Imagine a world shrouded in shadow, where the air is thick with whispers of secret gathering and the relentless anticipation chilling. It is here, amidst this aura of dread, that the infamous Emperor Nero unleashes his wrath upon the burgeoning Christian community. A figure of unparalleled excess and madness, Nero is said to have played his lyre as Rome blazed under his command. But twisted and merciless was his insidious plot as he scapegoated the Christians, igniting an era of ferocious persecution. Visions of Rome's splendor stand haunted by the eerie glow of burning pitch and the cries of the doomed, a macabre tapestry woven into the history of the early church. Bound in chains, believers faced unspeakable horror, yet whispered prayers echoed defiantly, weaving threads of hope in the face of despair. The fear that gripped their souls only fueled their fervor, planting seeds of faith that neither flames nor beasts could devour. In this setting of chaos and courage, the Apostle Paul awaited his execution, a testament to unwavering faith amidst terror. His letters, what secrets and solace might they hold for the persecuted? As Nero's persecution cast a long shadow over history, it forged a paradoxical light upon the enduring spirit of those who faced the ultimate sacrifice, their stories echoing through the corridors of time with a haunting reverberation. In the dim labyrinthine alleys of ancient Rome, where cobblestones bore witness to the whispers of empires, there lies a captivating mystery that entwines the fate of one man with the grandeur of an entire civilization. Paul's Roman citizenship. Imagine this, in a world where identity was often shackled by lineage, Paul, the apostle of boundless zeal, held within his grasp a parchment of immense significance. This citizenship was his key, a cloak of protection that shielded him amidst the tumultuous tempest of Roman law. As night fell over the eternal city, casting long shadows over its illustrious architecture, Paul's Roman citizenship was more than a mere legal advantage. It was a tale of intrigue woven into the very fabric of his destiny. It bestowed upon him privileges often reserved for the elite, the right to a fair trial, the promise of protection against unjust punishments. In the labyrinth of Roman jurisprudence, this status was his guiding light, illuminating paths others dared not tread. But herein lies the enigma. How did this son of a tent maker from Tarsus come to possess such a coveted status? Was it the hand of providence or the cunning dealings of his ancestors that placed him in this unique position? As Paul stood accused, facing the gavel of Roman justice, his citizenship was no longer a birthright, it was his lifeline. It shaped the nature of his imprisonment. No mere dungeon for this Roman citizen, but house arrest, a canvas on which he painted epistles that would echo through the annals of history. Yet the mystery deepens with his execution. Roman citizens typically awaited the merciful blade rather than the cruel cross, and so it was with Paul. The very citizenship that had spared him from ignominious punishment now orchestrated his final act, a swift execution by the sword befitting his status. Thus, Paul's Roman citizenship is not just a footnote in his biography. It is a riddle that intertwines legality with the ethereal, safeguarding his mission while echoing the intricate dance of fate and free will. Imagine the echo of chains clinking softly in the dim, candlelit corridors of a Roman prison cell. This is where Paul, a man whose spirit burned brighter than any torch, found himself confined. In the heart of the mighty Roman Empire, with shadows of his impending fate lurking around every corner, Paul did the unthinkable. He continued spreading the teachings of Christ. His words, laden with divine hope, pierced the very walls that sought to silence him. How did he manage to keep his faith ignited while death loomed so closely? It is as if every syllable he uttered became a prayer that floated above the chains, touching those who would never expect to find faith in such a bleak place. The mystery deepens as we delve into the mind of Paul, who even in the grim silence of a prison, transformed despair into a beacon of unwavering belief. Who were the souls he touched within those darkness-shrouded walls, and how did his mere presence dissolve fear into faith, leaving behind a legacy that not even the Roman chains could bind? In the year 64 AD, the Eternal City was engulfed in flames, a blaze so fierce it seemed to have been sent by the gods themselves, or perhaps by more sinister hand. As the inferno reduced vast swathes of Rome to ashes, whispers arose among the survivors, murmurs pointing fingers at the Emperor Nero. But Nero, a master of survival and manipulation, needed a scapegoat to quench the fiery rage of his people. And thus, the Christians, a burgeoning sect with strange customs and a mysterious leader who spoke of love and resurrection, found themselves in the crosshairs of his wrath. Among them stood Paul, a voice that carried hope and transformation, now silenced by the maneuvers of a desperate ruler. As the embers cooled, the persecution began, sowing seeds of fear, but also of faith, resilient in the face of imperial might. This dark chapter, though sinister, would eventually fortify the resolve of a burgeoning community, setting the stage for an epic saga of survival and redemption. The courtroom whispers held a tension that crackled like static in the air as the infamous Apostle Paul stood before an audience of stern Roman faces. The legal proceedings against Paul stand as a dramatic tableau, illustrating the growing friction between the ironclad Roman law, a system devised to maintain order and subdue rebellion, and the burgeoning tides of Christianity, which sought to overturn worldly structures with heavenly truth. How did Paul, a beacon of this nascent faith, navigate such treacherous waters? As shadowed figures of authority debated his fate, one couldn't help but wonder, was this merely about law and order, or was it a cosmic chess game? In these dungeons of decision, where power and spirituality collided, a larger story unraveled, a mystery woven into the threads of history. Here, legal rhetoric clashed with divine prophecy, each syllable carrying the weight of empires. In the swirling mists of ancient Roman legacies, The Apostle Paul's fate unfolds like a haunting specter of divine providence and human law. Unlike the brutal agony of crucifixion reserved for the lowest echelons, Paul met his end under the sharper blade of a Roman sword, an execution befit only for a citizen of the empire. This distinct end not only heightens the enigma surrounding his path, but lays bare the intricate web of Roman jurisprudence, a system that paradoxically intertwined privilege with punishment. As whispers of his lineage and Roman ties coil through the annals, one wonders if, in those final moments, Paul understood his martyrdom to be a testament not just to faith, but to the profound, complex dance between divine purpose and earthly privilege, an enduring secret scribbled in the margins of history. In the chilling shadows of a Roman cell, with only the light of a flickering candle illuminating the worn walls, the Apostle Paul found himself contemplating the end of his earthly journey. It was here, amidst the clamor of chains and the dim echo of footsteps, that Paul penned some of his most profound writings. As he awaited the looming specter of death, Paul's words were not shackled by despair, but were ablaze with timeless wisdom and unyielding faith. Each stroke of his quill dipped deep into the ink of eternity, crafting letters that would transcend the confines of time, resounding within the halls of Christian theology. With a heart both heavy and hopeful, Paul poured out his final teachings, reflecting on the trials, triumphs, and divine revelations that had marked his path. These letters brimmed with a poignant urgency, a testament to a man whose faith stood unbroken, even as the shadows of finality loomed. It's as if the very parchment absorbed his spirit, creating a mystical bond between author and reader that persists to this day. Here lies the enigma. How could words penned under such dire circumstances forge a beacon of hope that would guide countless souls across centuries? As you envision Paul, shackled yet spiritually free, let these writings whisper their secrets to you, drawing you deeper into the mysteries of faith and the resilience of the human spirit. In the face of darkness, they invite us to ponder not just the teachings, but the enigmatic strength of a man who, even in confinement, taught us all to soar. In the shadowy corridors of history, where the flickering torchlight barely pierces the overwhelming darkness, stands the towering figure of Nero. This enigmatic emperor, shrouded in both opulence and madness, governed with an iron fist, gripped by paranoia and erratic whims. Imagine the grandiosity of imperial Rome under his reign, a city teetering on the precipice of chaos. Within the grand marble halls of his palace, the air was thick with the scent of incense, masking the underlying tension that whispered through the corridors like a ghostly specter. Nero, a man of formidable contrasts, radiated an aura of artistic ambition veiled by his unpredictable temper and internal turmoil. His reign, which seemed to pulse with the rhythm of his erratic heart, reflected an unstable psychological state that fed his despotic decrees. He ruled not just with power, but with a profound fear of betrayal, one that carved into the souls of those in his presence. A classic performance of twisted brilliance, Nero's policies were as volatile as the man himself, sculpting a world of both architectural wonder and oppressive despair. Scholars and commoners alike found themselves entrapped in his labyrinth of caprice and cruelty, as his mental fragility bled into the very fabric of Roman society. This instability, like a serpent coiled around his empire, squeezed tightly enough to stain history with the repercussions of his turbulent psyche. It was a time when whispers of treason could spark infernos, and Nero's extreme measures against perceived threats laid the groundwork for intense persecution. His often despotic actions seemed to be dictated by the erratic notes of a mind struggling with its own demons. The emperor, crowned in paranoia and mistrust, projected his darkest fears onto those who surrounded him, orchestrating a macabre dance of power that would echo through eternity. As we unravel the threads of this complex narrative, one cannot help but wonder, was Nero truly the orchestrator of his own chaos, or merely a puppet to the darker facets of his fractured mind? The answer, perhaps, remains hidden within the silent shadows of history. In the swirling mists of early Christian history, the tale of Paul's martyrdom emerges as a beacon of perseverance, etched with enigmatic symbolism that resonates through the ages. Imagine, if you will, the dimly lit corridors of Rome, where shadows of ancient emperors linger, whispering tales of courage and unwavering faith. Paul's final moments in this world are cloaked in profound mystery, serving as a testament to the indomitable spirit of a man once known as Saul, the persecutor turned apostle. Though the exact details of his martyrdom remain shrouded in obscurity, the essence of his sacrifice transcends time, symbolizing the ultimate act of devotion. Just as Christ's crucifixion epitomized redemption, Paul's demise stands as a testament to the power of transformation and perseverance in the face of oppression. It is said that Paul, the evangelist of the Gentiles, faced his execution with a heart unburdened by fear, a profound embodiment of faith in the promise of eternal life. Close your eyes and envision the apostle's final journey as he walks the path of martyrdom with the weight of the world's struggles upon his shoulders, yet guided by an unwavering hope. The symbolism of his sacrifice extends beyond the act itself, weaving into the fabric of the Christian narrative a powerful message of hope in adversity, of life in the shadow of death. In Paul's story, the mysteries of faith and sacrifice converge, inviting us to question the depths of our own beliefs and the lengths we are willing to go for them. The shadows of history seldom echo as powerfully as they did in the aftermath of Paul's martyrdom. It was as though his life's final act ignited an unquenchable flame within the burgeoning Christian community. This profound influence, born from the very depths of sorrow and sacrifice, was whispered across continents, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of believers. Imagine a community on the brink of despair, shackled by the oppressive might of Rome, yet finding solace and an invigorated sense of purpose in the tale of Paul's relentless devotion. His death was not merely an end, but a mysterious genesis, a beckoning call that reverberated through the hidden catacombs and clandestine gatherings of the early church. In the silent prayers of the believers, one could feel the spectral presence of Paul, a martyr whose legacy of courage served as an eternal reminder to uphold their sacred convictions, transforming suffering into the fabric of resilience and an unwavering commitment to their spiritual journey. Suscríbete para más contenido.